Okay, y'all, it's rant time. Now, y'all know I don't rant without a good reason. And today, we're going to be talking about this false belief that you have no skills. Coming up next. Hi, everybody. My name is Dee Burks, and this is Retirement Rescue. And one of the things that I talk about on my channel is how to get yourself out there if you want to be semi-retired or you want to work part-time. I can't even tell you the number of people who have said, yeah, but I just don't have any skills. Okay, most of the people who watch my channel are approaching retirement or already retired. The idea that you have lived your whole life and you have no skills to interact with other humans is crap. I'm calling you on it. Every person that exists in society has some kind of skill. If you can talk to other people, you have customer service skills. There are so many things you actually can do. So let's talk about what's the real problem. Everywhere we're surrounded by skills you can teach yourself on YouTube, via online classes, via free seminars, free classes offered by your local workforce commission. Everywhere you turn, there is knowledge and information. So how could anyone ever say they have no skills when all they have to do is learn the skills? The teaching tools are everywhere. You know, years ago, and when I say years ago, I mean like in the 80s, people would say they had no skills. And a lot of times what that meant was they'd never had a job that entailed those skills. So they felt like they had no skills. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have online classes. And that stuff certainly wasn't free if you had to take it in person. Well, nowadays, information is everywhere. So the idea that someone would truly have no skills actually isn't true. The information and knowledge is there, so why would someone not take advantage of it? Well, my opinion is that it is not the lack of knowledge. Knowledge is everywhere. It is a lack of motivation. People don't want to have to learn new things. They don't want to have to teach themselves anything. They want life to be handed to them. Here's the answer. Here's the silver bullet. Here's everything you need to be a millionaire in 5.5 minutes and you'll be fixed by Friday. No, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And you see people even in retirement with that attitude. But it's really not true. We all have skills. We can all do different things than we've done our whole life. Human beings are so multifaceted. I mean, I never set out to be a writer of books for other people, to be a writer of business books, plastic surgery books. Do I know anything about plastic surgery? No. Very first book I wrote for someone else was on plastic surgery. Turned out to be a great book. And you know how it happened? I stumbled through it. I figured it out. You know, one of the things that I used to run across, especially when I was in HR, were so many employees, especially younger employees, that would start a job and then say, you know, there just wasn't enough training. There's just not enough training. Y'all should train more. No job is ever that way. Life is not that way. You get tossed into the deep end and you sink or swim. Life is a percentage game. The idea that you can do something and do it perfectly the first time, every time, is ridiculous. None of us do that. We all stumble through. There is a learning process to everything, and that doesn't change just because you're over 60 or over 50 or over 20 for that matter. It does not change. What does change is the fact that as you age, you learn how to learn. We've all done this through jobs we've had over time. We have taught ourselves how to learn things. So if anything, as you age, it gets easier, not harder. The only time it gets harder is when you don't want to, or when you choose not to. Then yeah, it's hard. And one of the things that people say to me a lot is, oh, well, you can just do everything. Like, y'all, If you all knew how many times I have failed at pretty much everything, doesn't matter what it is, anything that I'm doing well now, believe me, I started out failing at multiple times. My first YouTube videos were horrific. In fact, I didn't even put up some of the first ones, they were so bad. But you know what? That's how we learn. We learn over time. So the idea that you have no skills or that you shouldn't get out there and put yourself out there in some sort of entry-level position and learn something new is crazy. People want good people who will show up, do the job the best that they can do, and learn over time. And all of us go through that uncertainty. And that fear of failure, that uncertainty where we feel like we don't know what we're doing, man, everybody has that. We all feel that. My daughter just started a new job, and she was really good at her last job. And so that first day of feeling like you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where anything is, you get lost in the hallways. Hey, all of us have been there, especially those of us who've worked in the hospital. You always get lost in the hallways. This happens to everybody. And so many people, instead of just embracing that as part of the process, they say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel bad. And so they don't. And what they do is they sit at home and they worry. They're not going to have enough money. They're going to run out of money. There's nothing they can do. And they tell people, well, I have no skills. None of that is true. It's just not true. What is true, though, is that so many people have a lack of direction. They don't know what they want to do. So they don't try anything. They can't imagine something that they might be able to do. So they don't even look online. When I ask someone, oh, have you looked at online jobs? Have you looked? Nope, haven't even Googled it, haven't even looked at it, have not thought past the idea of, well, there's nothing I can do. They are self-eliminating is what they're doing. Don't let that be you. Do not self-eliminate and stop yourself from doing something you may love down the road just because you're going to feel a little bit of that uncertainty and fear of failure right off the bat. That's normal. You have the power to reinvent your life or any part of your life at any point. If you've been retired for a few years and haven't worked, maybe want to go and do something now, great. Don't let someone tell you that you can't do it or no one's going to want you. Right now, everyone's begging for help. When I decided to go back and get a corporate job after having been self-employed for 15 years, the person I was married to at that time, the first words out of his mouth were, well, you're over 50, who's going to hire you? He actually said that. I had a job 3 weeks later, even though it was not a job I had ever done before. I was able to match skill set with skill set, not job title. You have to be creative. You have to be willing to jump in there and learn. And you can. If there's any reason you think you can't learn, you've probably just convinced yourself you can't because truthfully, you don't wanna. No one can help you with that. If you're not motivated to help yourself and to get out there and use your skills, learn how to use the skills you have acquired to do something new, you won't be successful. If you've enjoyed this video, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.